It was time, Jefferson said, for a union of the civil and military power in the same hands, a move that the previous 2 years had taught him would greatly facilitate military measures. Unbeknownst to the party at Monticello, Cornwallis had ordered Tarleton to pursue the government to Charlottesville. Riding fast, the British dragoons passed the Cuckoo Tavern in Louisa on Sunday, June 3rd, 1781. It was late, somewhere between 9 and 10 p.m., when the British rode by. A giant of a Virginia militiaman named Jack Jewett, said to be 6'4" and 220 pounds, was in Louisa. Realizing that the enemy was en route to capture Jefferson, Jewett broke away for a daring nighttime ride of 40 miles. Mounted on a horse said to be the best and fleetest of foot of any nag in 7 counties, Jewett crashed through the wilderness. Careering through woodlands and along ridges, Jewett avoided well-known roads in order to stay clear of the enemy. According to one account, his face was cruelly lashed by tree branches as he rode forward, and scars which are said to have remained the rest of his life were the result of lacerations sustained from these low-hanging limbs. The British broke their march at a plantation around 11 p.m. There they rested for about 3 hours, thus giving Jewett a bit of time. Tarleton stopped again deep in the night to set fire to a wagon train of supplies en route to confronting the rebel troops. Jewett arrived at Monticello just before dawn and told Jefferson of the impending strike. Coolly, Jefferson ordered breakfast served to the household, summoned a carriage for his family, and bade farewell to the legislators, who descended the mountain back to Charlottesville. Patty and the 2 children and 2 slaves set out in search of safety at a nearby plantation. At Monticello, Jefferson was largely alone. At least 2 slaves were still there. One was Martin Hemmings, and were hiding silver in anticipation of the raid. Jefferson tried to rescue his documents. In preparing for flight, I shoved in papers where I could. He then did something in character. He decided to see things for himself. His instincts for control and for action drove him from Monticello to a neighboring peak known both as Mont Alto and as Carter's Mountain. He took his spyglass with him. Looking out at Charlottesville, he did not note anything extraordinary. He turned to go, but realized that his sword cane had slipped to the ground. As he retrieved it, his curiosity got the better of him. He peered through his glass again. That was when he saw the British. Back at Monticello, Jefferson mounted his best horse, Caractacus, and took off after his family. The redcoats arrived 5 minutes after he left. One cocked a pistol, aimed it at Martin Hemmings' chest, and demanded to be told where Jefferson was or he would fire. "Fire away, then," Hemmings said. There would be no gunfire at Monticello during its brief occupation by the British, nor would there be any looting. One exception. The redcoats drank some of Jefferson's wine. Legend has it that they used it to toast George III's birthday. Cornwallis was far less circumspect about Jefferson's other plantations, especially Elk Hill, where the British burned his barns and crops and scattered his slaves. 23 of Jefferson's slaves ran away from his plantations amid the Tarleton-Cornwallis invasion. At least 15 of these died of disease in British camps at Yorktown or Portsmouth. Riding away from Monticello, Jefferson caught up with Patty and the children, and they ultimately